What's up, my little tattletales? How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if you are Drake, you need to have a seat, Grandpa. And I mean that with all the bass in my heart. Baby, first of all, Drake has been spiraling. He is really in the middle of a midlife crisis. He had the nerve to go after Joe Budden. And baby, I'm not a Joe Budden fan, but let's call a spade a spade. You have the nerve to go after Joe Budden? Talking about, yeah, when you was in a dusty club with 450 people. And baby, you was one of those 450 people. Because if you guys remember, Drake actually took Joe Budden's flow. But forget all that. Why is Drake coming after Rihanna? But baby, Rihanna had something for Drake. She literally did a dance off with her love. People are saying she was low-key shading Drake because we all know that Drake can't dance. And every single time he tries, he ends up injured and looking stupid. But baby, it's not over. Azealia Banks jumped in on this mess. And you know Azealia got the funniest takes, y'all. Strap in. Let's get into this mess. All right, first let's talk about his lame lyrics with Rihanna, because that's the first thing we got to talk about. And then we're going to talk about Rihanna's response. So Drake said, look, why you make it sound like I'm still hung up on you? Baby, Rihanna's not talking about you. Rihanna is loved up on A$AP Rocky. You really think that man, she is looking at Rocky every single night thinking about you? And let's not forget, y'all can believe this Habibi version of Drake that's out. Baby, we all know that is lipo, that is fake abs. Baby, he stay on Dr. Kerr's table. On top of that, baby, we remember you before you had a trend when you look like a turtle. Stop it. Yes, that ain't Drake's real face either. Anyway, time to shave off that beard and dissolve his fillers, and then we can talk. Anyway, he said, that could never be. Gal can't ruin me. Better him than me. Baby, better him than me. You were the one that were putting up billboards on Rihanna, worshiping the ground she walked on. As a matter of fact, you and Rihanna, the streets are saying, were actually a thing. The thing is, you messed it up by getting a P-star pregnant. Right? She was trying to trap every guy in the industry, the streets were saying, and you were the one that was it. To the point of you asked for a test. You got a P-star pregnant and then made her literally go and knife up her whole face with surgery so that she would look acceptable. And you keep her hidden in Paris. Let's also not forget, Drake, you literally didn't even want to claim Apollo. Because at the end of the day, Drake has problems with his blackness. Because here's the thing, at the end of the day, Drake is not of the culture. Yes, your dad was in your life. You grew up in a wealthy Jewish enclave in Canada. We already know from Tristan Thompson and a few other things that I don't know what's in the water in Canada. I'll pray for y'all. But anyway, you want to be. And you were mad that your son even removed you from the culture anymore. But at the end of the day, Drake doesn't even understand American culture, but he wants to be a culture vulture. Literally, you playing dues to, who is it? The boy in Houston, and having Birdman talk about throw shots at Joe Budden. I think that Drake's been playing this little fake hood persona for so long that he's actually trying to believe that. You better go back to your little friends back home and tell them, because that's what they think America gangster. Remember when he tweeted Andrew Tate? Andrew Tate was like, Drake did something corny. And Andrew Tate was like, yo, that's why I don't meet with the celebrities that want to meet with me talking about Drake. And Drake tweeted green light. If you guys don't know, that's like gangline for like, yeah, there's a price on your head. Drake, stop playing. You tweet in green light? I can't with these antics. Anyway, he said, better him than me. Better is not me. I'm anti. Yeah, the S was average with you. Has anybody come out and said that the S was good with Drake ever? Oh, I'm not talking about when he's buying Birkin bags for himself and dressing with pink barrettes and literally look like he's writing love letters to Odell Beckham Jr. No. I'm talking about, has anybody ever heard that Drake, because from what I hear, he's the average one. I'm just saying. He said, yeah, I'm anti because I had it with you. Rihanna dumped him once he got that girl, the P-star pregnant. She dumped him. Okay, I'm auntie like your daddy's sister. Auntie like a family pinter. And I had way better bees than you, to be honest. Okay, so why aren't you writing a song about those much better bees? Yo, Drake is really starting to get scary. He's going, in my opinion, into incel land. Even the way he gave some guy at a concert 50,000 because his girlfriend broke. Yeah, she gonna regret this. Boy, you really think that she broke up with him because he was broke? She probably broke up with him because he was more like you than not. Anyway, he said, yeah, that man, he's still with you. He can't leave you. He don't want to leave. And baby, he loving her down. They having dance off. She said, y'all go on vacation. I bet it's until. Anyway, Drake then got his album talked about like a doll. Oh, so anyway, Rihanna responded to Drake by having a dance off. Y'all ready for this? Because people are saying that Drake can't dance. Anyway, he then wrote this long thing to Joe Budden saying he's the worst, he's the dirtiest, he would never, he needs to stay in the place. And to which I said, Drake, you really can't go to war with Joe Budden, because here's the thing, Joe Budden is a hot mess, right? He is a hot mess. He is not pro Black woman. He's not pro woman, period. But I will say this, he's always talking trash about himself. He laughs at himself. How are you trying to come at Joe Budden when at the end of the day, Joe Budden has one thing, that Joe Budden is respected. Joe Budden actually has talent. Joe Budden, the only thing is, yeah, he ruins his career. But then it's like he let go of the podcast. He built it on up again. His thing, it's like he could have been big, right? And he's well respected because he has talent. But at the end of the day, Joe Budden has always like bigged up Drake. He's always said, yo, Drake's good, Drake's this, that. He actually gave him an honest opinion about Drake's album, saying, yo, you're having a midlife crisis. You need to stop trying to be what these young cats are being, and you need to stand 10 toes down on your own. Of course, Drake had a meltdown and dragged Joe Budden. He clapped back at Joe Budden. He said, Joe Budden, you failed at music. You left it behind to do what you're doing in this clip because this is what actually pays your bills. Okay? And for any artist watching this, remember you are watching a failure give their opinion on his idea of a recipe for success. A quitter give their opinion on how, this is deep, a quitter give their opinion on how to achieve longevity. First of all, that literally makes no sense at all, because everybody knows that that's like saying, like, this is how, first of all, Drake knows that he's aging out of the game. He's stuck in this weird thing where he's trying to be with the 20-year-olds, but it's weird because at the end of the day, like, it just looks odd. Like, you're at the stage where why are you rapping about like that? You should be rapping about grown stuff, even as far as relationships, but you want to still, it's just weird. It's giving 60-year-old with receding hairline in the club. But also Drake's premise, that's what failures do. Y'all, what are you talking about? A coach of a winning team, they can't make a basket, but they know how to make a champion. Somebody that teaches violin might never know how to play in a concert, a solo, but baby, they know how to harness greatness. People that actually have failed can't get boys for longevity. And he's actually telling you what's wrong with your career, Drake, and you and I both know it. Anyway, right? He said you switched careers because the things that pop into your brain had you broke, living check to check, and raps you right at 450 men showing up at your shows in dusty and niche jeans to screw up their face in mute music 29 and pretend you're the GOAT. But that was but Drake, you were there too. You were his biggest fan. So how you disrespecting? Anyway, he goes on to say all this stuff, like it's dumb. And he wrote a paragraph. Ain't nobody reading this, so we know you're in your feelings. He said, you'll grow up sooner than later. Father Time is undefeated, which is true at the end of the day. Drake, grow up, show some evolution. Fine, or be happy you stand on the hits. But something tells me that Drake knows that it's all cap too, and he's not going. Anyway, Azealia Banks had the funniest answer to this, because you know she got all this stuff. So Drake then had Birdman. Drake then had Birdman. Birdman. This lets me know also that Drake is paying all these dues to these hood guys who's supposed to be protecting him, and he ran to his daddy like, yo, he's picking on me. Anyway, Birdman said, calm down, brother. You're not built for this gangster-ish. Champagne Poppy. This is how much Drake is not of American culture. I don't care what goes on in Canada. You cannot outsource your beef. How you got beef with someone and you're going hard on them and then you outsource it for someone else? It looks like you're running to your daddy. Anyway, Azealia Banks said, does Drake know his nose job and liposuction is not hip hop? Does Drake know that no one who actually understands hip hop, a culture born from oppressed, don't really care about his soft tooth, colonized, confused, mixed race facility attempts to exhibit the true authenticity of an actual MC? Does Drake know his desperate attempts to gangsterize Canadian street life is an all-encompassing failure in and of itself? Oh, she wasn't done. Also, can hip-hop get any more trashy? Does Birdman know how low IQ, tacky, and how much of an effing loser he looks threatening Joe Budden via the internet? Like, you can get arrested for that, Birdman. Can you just make some more lugs and quit threatening people online before you get arrested? It sounds like that really makes this genre look trashy and low budget as HE other hockey sticks. And sorry, you're kind of just made it so hot that if anything happens to Joe Budden, it's certainly getting traced back to you and Drake. Loved your verse on constantly hating, but it has been a minute since anyone cared for your music, and Drake is redundant as HE double hockey sticks. The only weird Nepo baby, she said only weird Nepo babies and Eastern European immigrants who were USSN Polo Association, Cool Water, and Media F-boys actually care for him. Work some magic and bring back Young Thug, please. That man is very, very special. Honestly, if Drake's mother was black, he'd probably not be so corny. White mom syndrome is very real. Y'all, listen, drop in the comments and let me know what y'all think, all right? I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.